The series begins with what looks like a memory. Suguru Geto prowls through shadowy streets, searching for evil spirits. In one narrow alley, he discovers a cursed spirit feasting on a lifeless body. With his special power to control these spirits, Geto swiftly absorbs them, as he has done many times before. However, he alone understands how tasking to eat such wicked entities. Ever since a fateful event, Geto has been repeating these words to maintain his composure and sanity. Once upon a time in 2006, two sorcerers, Meimei and Yudahime, took on a mission to check out a haunted house in Hamamatsu City, where people had gone missing and spooky things were happening. On getting there, they hopped out of the car to investigate the mansion. Yudahime seemed scared, but Senior Meimei is cool and collected. They decided to search the house separately, but somehow found themselves on the same floor. Meimei noticed they kept seeing the same garbage over and over again. She explained that this place is like a world created by the spirit's mind and realized they were stuck in a barrier meant to trap the spirit's victims. To use such trickery to trap their victims, this spirit must be weak, so they thought they could beat it if they can escape the barrier. Yudahime theorized that the spirit is trying hard to patch the barrier, so if they ran super fast, the barrier wouldn't catch them. Meimei agreed and added that they should run in different directions to make it even harder for the barrier to keep up. And off they went, bravely and cleverly, to outsmart the spirit. Everything seemed to be going well, but suddenly, something strange started tearing the mansion apart. Yudahime managed to escape by leaping out and hiding under some rubble. As the whole building crumbled, Yudahime emerged from the wreckage and saw the main man, Satoru Gojo, who had come to save her. Apparently, the barrier messed with time for the ladies, so 3 students from Tokyo Jujutsu High, Satoru, Geto, and Shoko, were sent to help after 2 days. While Gojo was messing around with Yudahime, a huge cursed spirit appeared, but Geto stopped it like a boss. Gojo continued to make fun of Yudahime, and she is relieved to see Shoko. Funny enough, Meimei found out she'd be paid for 2 days of work. Now, that's one greedy lady. They returned to Jujutsu High, and their teacher, Mazumichi, scolded them for forgetting to set up a barrier. Of course, Gojo is the one to blame because that's just the kind of person he is, so Mazumichi punished him. While in the gym, the 2 students got into a moral debate on the responsibility of using jujitsu abilities to protect non-sorcerers because they are weak. Gojo makes fun of Geto's beliefs, and their conversation becomes more tense, causing Shoko to run away, and Geto summons a curse, threatening Satoru to settle things outside. Just before things escalated further, Mazumichi bursts into the room and reveals they have a mission. The 2 strongest individuals are supposed to escort the star plasma vessel to Master Tengen and eliminate her. Satoru and Geto are confused about the eliminate her part of the mission. So, what's with the star plasma vessel and Tengen? Mazumichi and Geto explain that Tengen needs to merge with the vessel to avoid becoming a danger to humanity. Okay, this Tengen is a very important dude to go through all this trouble, so who, or what are they? Master Tengen is a really old sorcerer with the cursed power of immortality, who cannot die but also does not stop aging. They are the best user of the barrier technique, which protects all jujitsu schools and helps the assistants set up barriers during an exorcism. So yeah, he's quite important. Now the vessel's location has been revealed, and 2 groups, Curse User Group Q and the Star Religious Group, aka Time Vessel Association, are after it. Mazumichi reveals that the merger will happen in 2 days and assigns the students the task of protecting the girl and bringing her back to Jujutsu High. As the 2 students leave the school, Gojo wonders why the Time Vessel Association is chasing after the vessel. Geto explains these people worship Tenjin as a god in its pure form, and the star plasma vessel is an impurity, so this merging business is wrong. On arriving at the location, Geto goes inside to find the vessel while Satoru waits outside. As Geto gets closer to the girl's room, he scolds Satoru for being too full of himself. I mean, Gojo can be a jerk about his abilities. Geto rings the doorbell, and a girl answers, saying she's coming, but then a bomb suddenly explodes. Luckily, Geto escapes the explosion using a cursed spirit to protect himself and sees a girl falling from a building. He summons another flying spirit to catch her. A Q soldier, Koken, comes to check if the girl is dead, but sees Geto, who teases him. Meanwhile, another Q soldier named Bear throws knives at Gojo, but he stops them with his infinity power. The new enemies praises Gojo and challenges him, but Gojo taunts him, saying he won't kill Bear if he begs for mercy. In a tall building nearby, two men watch as the Q group tries to kill the students and the girl. One of the men, Shu Kong, offers the assassination contract to the other man he calls Zenin to do the job. The man says he's now called Fushiguro, and this is going to be a fun job.
Casually chilling around. He's got this power that can immobilize people with curses, and he effortlessly traps this dude from the organization Q. But get this, the curse that Geto hits him, which makes the curse want to freaking kiss the captured guy. Okay. It's hilarious and messed up at the same time. Now the guy is desperate to be set free, so he promises Geto that he'll quit being a curse user and start farming rice in the countryside. But Geto doesn't give a damn about his pleas and just ignores him, which pisses him off even more. He's all like, yo, you better watch out, cause Bear, the baddest dude in Group Q, is gonna come and wreck you all. But Geto ain't even phased. He shows him a pic on his phone of Bear getting his ass kicked by Satoru. And guess what? Group Q disbands, cause their strongest soldier just got taken out. Meanwhile, the representative from the Star Religious group catches Toji Fushiguro betting on boat races. Turns out Toji used a bunch of money to screw over Gojo family and some sorcerers. The representative from the group is skeptical of Toji and he asks him about someone named Megumi. Now we all know who he is talking about, but Toji Fushiguro is so out of it, he can't even remember who the hell Megumi is. Oh, and there's Riko who wakes up in Satoru's arms. She flips out and starts attacking him, thinking he's one of her attackers. But then her caretaker shows up and they figure out what's going on. Riko starts talking about how she'll be Master Tengen, explaining she's least worried about the merger as her body, mind and consciousness will continue to live on. But Geto and Gojo just ignore her. She ends up going back to her old school instead of Jujutsu High because Master Tengen wants her to have a good time before she disappears or something. So Geto checks on his surveillance curses and realizes that two of them got messed up. He and Gojo rush to find Riko because it turns out Toji has put a massive bounty on her head and now there are curse users trespassing on the school campus to collect that cash. Elsewhere, Toji is still on the phone with the representative. He finds out that the sorcerers protecting Riko haven't yet come back to Jujutsu High, which is great news for the Time Vessel Association. Now even crazier folks will go after the bounty. But hey, there's a catch. That 30 million Toji got was just a service fee, so if someone else kills Riko, he gets nothing. But he ain't worried cause he knows Gojo will take care of anyone dumb enough to mess with him. Fushiguro's plan involves using curse users to wear down Satoru and his crew. It's like free labor cause nobody can cash in on the bounty, and the representative realizes this 2-day time limit actually works in their favor. Plus it makes it easier for them to gather more curse users. Talk about a messed up plan, right? Okay, so now Toji's in a rush because things are moving faster than he expected. He's all like, hey, make sure you have the 30 million ready. But the rep starts talking about his cut and Toji's just not interested. He's got his eyes on the prize. Meanwhile, Satoru, Geto, and Riko's caretaker are on the hunt for Riko. She tells them that she'll be either in the music room or in the chapel at Girls Junior High. Geto decides to go after the intruders while Satoru and her caretaker split up to find Riko. Satoru's a bit annoyed because he wanted to stick close to Riko but she didn't want to be seen with boys at a girls-only school. Now Geto's on his own wondering who these curse users could be. With Q disbanded, they could be hired muscle from the Time Vessel Association causing trouble. He turns a corner and comes face to face with an old dude who's ready to fight. This old guy is no fool, he knows what he's doing. He's analyzing Geto's moves and figures out that Geto's curse technique involves manipulating curses. They engage in a battle, with Geto unleashing this massive worm-like curse to fill the hallway, thinking he's got it in the bag. But this old dude is sneaky. He pops up from behind a window and catches him off guard. He gets up close and personal, thinking he's got the upper hand. But Geto is just not having it. He goes full beast mode on the old man, delivering a relentless beatdown. He taunts the old guy, asking if he's with Q or the Time Vessel Association. Meanwhile, Gojo and Riko's caretaker make their way to the chapel where Riko is. Satoru barges in, making a grand entrance and embarrassing her. The girls inside are all fangirling over him. They bombard Riko with questions and Gojo even takes off his sunglasses, acting all confident. Riko's annoyed by his cockiness, but they gotta get out of there cause curse users have attacked the school. As Gojo and Riko make their escape across the rooftops, they are spotted by another curse user. Riko's caretaker comes in from behind and starts fighting the guy. She's surprisingly strong, by the way. They exchange blows and then the curse user suddenly turns into a puddle of mud. Weird, right? Geto calls Satoru and tells him there's a 30 million yen bounty on Riko's head from some dark website for curse users. Gojo hangs up and realizes they're surrounded by 4 of the same curse user. Riko thinks they're Shikigami, but Gojo believes they are Jujutsu sorcerers. The curse user denies it and creates a 5th clone. He says being a professional sorcerer isn't worth the danger. But Gojo ain't messing around. He uses his curse technique Lapse Blue and takes out 2 of the guys in an instant. Riko notices something strange about those clones attacking Gojo. Turns out they're not Shikigami but actual copies of the real technique's caster. 2 of these clones try to get up all in Satoru's face, but guess what? They can't get past his infinity, making it easy for him to counterattack. Satoru's 6 Eyes ability allows him to read his opponent's curse technique and he decides to reveal his own move. He creates this magnetic force that pulls the cursed user closer to him. Satoru goes for a powerful move called the curse technique Red, but for some reason it just doesn't work. So he's like, okay, screw this, and just knocks out his opponent with a punch. It's pretty badass really, but poor Riko is all confused, like what just happened? Then out of nowhere, Riko receives a text message with a picture, and guess who's in the picture? It's her caretaker, and she's been captured by the enemy. So this is where our second episode ends. The episode opens with Geto apologizing to Riko and Gojo for leaving Kuroi behind without realizing her importance to the enemy. Gojo, believing their enemies are planning a trade, decides to coordinate with them to rescue her. However, Riko is hesitant because she hasn't said goodbye to Kuroi yet, fearing that the merge might happen before they can save her. Despite the risk, Gojo agrees to bring Riko along as she is brave and could increase her chances of survival. The kidnappers demand a meeting spot in Okinawa where they plan to rescue Kuroi and capture the kidnappers. Later, they decide to enjoy a day at the beach before heading to Jujutsu High later. At the beach, they are discussing the capture and Kuroi apologizes for her involvement. Geto takes some blame, but they wonder why Okinawa was chosen as the meeting spot. She suggests the possibility of an attack at the airport, leading to increased security measures at Jujutsu High. Meanwhile, we meet the first years, Haibara and Kento Nanami, guarding the premises with opposite personalities. Haibara is pretty upbeat while Nanami tends to be laid back. The group is having fun at the beach and Gojo decides to leave Okinawa a day later to avoid further encounters with curse users. The next day, they head to Jujutsu High, reaching the foothills within 4 hours of Riko's bounty being lifted. Gojo deactivates his curse technique only to be unexpectedly stabbed from behind by Toji Fushiguro. Gojo slightly recognizes Toji, having seen him as a child and being the only one who noticed him back then. Now Toji is a formidable opponent and a fierce battle ensues. After the initial attack, Gojo is wounded but assures Geto he'll be fine. Geto takes Riko to Master Tengen's place while Gojo faces Toji. Toji proves to be a skilled fighter despite having no cursed energy, making it difficult for Gojo to anticipate his moves. The encounter intensifies with Gojo using his curse technique labs to fight back. Toji suddenly disappears and Gojo suspects he might be going after Riko. The situation becomes more complex when a swarm of fly heads appears, possibly connected to Toji's plan. Gojo realizes Toji might be targeting Riko and tries to defend against the unexpected attack. However, Toji manages to overpower Satoru with a special great curse tool known as the Inverted Spear of Heaven. This curse tool stops all curse techniques, leaving Gojo in a dangerous situation. In the intense scene, Toji wields that deadly Inverted Spear of Heaven to nullify Gojo's curse technique. It's like he's moving at the speed of light, slashing Satoru with brutal precision. It looks like Gojo might be done for, lying there in a pool of blood. Meanwhile, at the bottom of Tokyo Jujutsu High, Kuroi and Riko are having a heart-wrenching farewell. They're crying and expressing their love for each other. Geto stands by, guiding Riko towards the main hall of the Tombs of the Star. This place is mysterious and protected by a special barrier that only invites specific people inside. Riko is faced with a tough decision. She can either stay with them until the merger or go back home with Kuroi. Through a flashback scene, we see how Gojo and Geto had agreed to abort the mission if the Star Plasma vessel didn't agree, so things are getting complicated. Riko's past has been tough. She's felt alone and different from others after losing her parents, but spending time with everyone on this escort mission has changed her perspective, and she admits she wants to stay with them. Geto offers his hand to take her home, and she agrees, but suddenly out of nowhere, a shot rings out and hits Riko in the head. It's Toji. He reveals himself with that cold, calculating demeanor. Geto, it's time to wrap things up, he says. Geto is shocked and asks why, and that's when Toji delivers the bombshell. He claims he has killed Gojo. Geto brings out his most powerful cursed spirits ready to face off against this assassin.
Sugiura got so mad he attacks the assassin with a rainbow dragon. Toji tried to shoot at Suguru, who defends himself with a squid-like cursed spirit. Toji escapes from Rainbow Dragon easily and tells Suguru not to be hasty. They walk around the partially destroyed buildings while Toji explains why the barriers around Jujutsu High don't work on him. Apparently, this is because Toji has no cursed energy, which makes him an invisible man. Suguru tries to attack Toji using sound to locate him, but Toji is too fast and keeps moving around. Toji explains how he hides his cursed tools using the cursed spirit he keeps around him, but Suguru interrupts and asks how they were found without any traces. Toji reveals that he used his enhanced senses to track them. Suguru asked about Kuroi, the maid, but Toji dismisses his question, hinting that the maid might be dead. This answer gets Suguru angry and sends his powerful rainbow dragon at Toji, but Toji easily dodges all his attacks and even breaks the rainbow dragon with just one move. Toji then lands on the same platform as Suguru and isn't impressed with his cursed technique. The platform they're on collapses, but they are saved by a barrier set by one of Sugiru's spirits, Kyujise Kana. She used a simple domain that forbids violence and asks Toji if she's pretty. Toji analyzes her cursed spirit and says she's not his type, which upsets her. She tries to attack Toji with scissor blades, but he quickly defends himself using his inverted spear of heaven with incredible speed. While all this happened, Suguru tries to surprise Toji and absorb a cursed spirit to defeat Toji, but it doesn't work. Toji scolds him for getting too close and takes advantage of this to tear up Suguru with a katana and a kick, just as the platform they are on crashes to the ground. After the crash, Toji decides to spare Suguru because he doesn't know what will happen to the cursed spirits he absorbed if he dies. Before leaving, Toji teases Suguru, saying that despite all their powers, they couldn't defeat someone like a powerless monkey. All of a sudden, he remembers someone named Megumi as he mentions blessings. Later in the day, at the Time Vessel Association headquarters, Toji hands over Riko's body to the Star Religious Association and their representative, Shigeru Sonoda. The representative is happy with the assassination, but admits they didn't expect that Toji would be successful. He explains the origins of the Star Religious Group and their willingness to perish with Tenjin, but Toji thinks he's crazy and leaves with Shu calm. While walking outside, Toji asks Shu about their mission and the situation in Okinawa. He also wants to get some food using their new money, but Shu declines, saying he will only work with Toji, not be his friend. As Toji was about to leave, he was surprised to see. Guess who? Satoru Gojo, who was supposed to be dead. He was able to survive by learning how to use his reverse curse technique as he was about to die. But he's acting quite strange after coming back to life. He declared that since Toji didn't kill him properly, the sorcerer killer is going to lose. Toji accepts this declaration as a challenge and charged at him, but Satoru used a new power called Curse Technique Reversal, Red, to easily counter the attack, sending Toji flying and crashing against a wall. But Toji wasn't seriously hurt, as he reviewed what he knew about Satoru's powers and prepared to fight again. He combined the chain of 1,000 miles with the inverted spear of heaven and attacked Satoru. However, Satoru still easily avoided the attacks. Satoru apologizes to Toji for not feeling sad about Riko's death because he's feeling really good right now. Then, he declared that he was the only honored one throughout the heavens and the earth. Toji is from the Zenin clan, so he knows about Satoru's limitless technique. But there's one technique that nobody is aware of, and that is one that Satoru uses as he unleashes his special technique called the Hollow Technique, Purple, a mixture of red and blue to defeat Toji in one shot, chopping away half of his body. As Toji realizes his defeat, he thinks about he made the mistake of taking on this battle because he wanted to reject the world of Jujutsu by killing the strongest sorcerer, but instead, he lost his way and lost himself. Satoru asks Toji if he has any last words. Toji initially says no, but then he thinks about his child, Megumi. He tells Satoru that his child will be sold off to the Zenin clan in a few years and leaves that information with him. Later, Suguru, who had been hurt before, comes back and sees Satoru recovering Riko's body. He's surprised at how Satoru has changed and asks what happened. Satoru takes responsibility for Riko's death and suggests killing the non-sorcerers celebrating around them. But Suguru says there's no point because the association will collapse soon. Satoru asks if there needs to be a point and walks away. Suguru thinks it's important for Jujutsu sorcerers to have a purpose, but it looks like he's unsure now. So it's been a year since this messed up mission thing happened. Suguru and Shoko are checking out what Satoru has done with the limitless technique he's got. Basically, he's made the technique work by itself, so he is trying to learn the reverse curse technique and his domain expansion. After the whole Star Platinum Vessel incident, Satoru has become the only strongest sorcerer, while Suguru looks like he's been through the ringer. Satoru even asks if Suguru's lost weight, but Suguru's like, nah, all's cool. Now, Satoru's rocking it on solo missions and Shoko never really did risky stuff anyway. That means Suguru's left doing missions by himself during a crazy summer full of a cursed spirit epidemic. It's like he's stuck in this never-ending loop of fighting off these bad vibes and munching on these cursed spirits. Imagine trying to eat a gross rag. Yeah, it's that bad. He tries to wash off his frustrations in the shower, but his mind's stuck on these thoughts that won't leave. For a whole year, Suguru's been trying hard to be a good guy, you know, saving people as a Jujutsu sorcerer. But he's haunted by these star religious groups clapping at the death of Riko. Suguru kinda starts to crack as he quietly calls them monkeys. Later, Suguru's just chilling in this lounge and along comes Yuhaibara, who decides to sit down next to him. Yu is all hyped, blabbering about this upcoming mission he's got. And Suguru, being the curious type, asks Yu about this whole sorcerer gig, if he's cool with it. Yu gives a classic response that he doesn't overthink, so he just gives his best at whatever he's good at. Then, out of nowhere comes this woman barging in. She's all like, hey, what kind of ladies you dudes into? And Yu, with all the confidence in the world, goes, I'm all about a girl who can eat. Suguru's pretty surprised by that answer, but remains suspicious of this woman. Turns out she's Yuki Tsukumo, some big shot sorcerer, who's basically known for slacking off on her missions. She acts all sassy and says she hates the Jujutsu High, but deep down, she's actually upset. She thinks the people at the top are just fixing the symptoms with bad spirits, not really getting rid of the whole problem, but she dreams of a world without cursed spirits. Yuki got two ideas. 1, everyone ditches cursed energy, or 2, everyone gets super good at controlling it. For the first one, she believed the now-dead Toji figured it out, but he's gone now, so Yuki's looking into the second idea. She tells Suguru that sorcerers don't produce cursed energy, like non-sorcerers, because they can handle cursed energy. So, Suguru is like, let's just wipe out the non-sorcerers then, but Yuki explains that it's not as easy as she thinks and also, she's not that crazy. Yuki asks if Suguru hates non-sorcerers, but he's kinda unsure. Part of him thinks they're not so great, but another part wants to be a good sorcerer who protects non-sorcerers. Yuki tells him to choose what he believes and she leaves, a bit bummed she didn't meet Satoru. Later, Nanami returns from a mission that totally went south, like seriously messed up. They thought they were gonna exorcise this grade 2 cursed spirit, but turns out it was some local god thing that took out you. So Nanami is flipping out, throwing stuff around in the morgue, all pissed off about being given bad info. Then there's Suguru, trying to calm Nanami down and telling him to take a breather. But even Suguru's kinda messed up from the whole thing. He's like, being a jujitsu sorcerer is like running a messed up marathon, with his buddies' dead bodies waiting at the finish line. And then, Suguru is on his own mission later. He gets rid of this curse bugging a village, but the villagers blame these 2 young sorcerer girls instead. Those poor girls are all beaten up and locked in a cage. Suguru tried to reassure them that he's fixed the cursed spirit problem, but the villagers ain't buying it. They're dead set that the girls did everything. Here's the kicker. Suguru notices the girls are like him, fellow sorcerers, and they can't even stick up for themselves. So he's like, screw it, I'm done with non-sorcerer people. And that's that. He goes on this crazy rampage and kills over 100 villagers. Later, Jujutsu High gets involved and checks it out. Well, they kick Suguru out of school and declared him wanted. Then Headmaster, Mazumichi Yaga, gets wind of this and tries to spill the beans to Satoru. Turns out, Suguru not only off the villagers, but also his own parents who weren't even sorcerers. But Satoru's not having it. He's like, nah, this can't be real. He's all kinds of angry and confused. Then, in another part of town, Suguru meets up with Shoko, who starts chatting like old pals. Shoko wanted to know if the rumors are true and Suguru confirms it. He wants to build a world with only sorcerers, but Shoko is not impressed, so she calls Satoru, and he hauls his butt over. Now, Satoru is in Suguru's face, demanding an explanation, but Suguru decides not to explain himself anymore. Satoru thinks the plan is crazy and impossible, but Suguru thinks it's possible with Satoru's abilities. As Suguru walks away, Gojo tries to kill with his purple techniques, but realizes he couldn't eliminate his best friend. So, like, Satoru goes back to school feeling bad about losing his friend. Mazumichi shows up, and they have this chat about what went down. Satoru figures out that he can only save people who are ready to be saved, you know? Back at the Time Vessel headquarters, Suguru takes over the association by killing off Shigeru Sonoda and totally committed to that hatred of the non-sorcerer monkeys. Later, Satoru runs into a young Megumi Fushiguro. This pisses off Satoru because the boy has the same ridiculous look as Toji. Anyway, Satoru starts telling Megumi about his dad and their deal with the Zenin clan. He's almost about to spill the beans that he eliminated Toji, but Megumi cuts him off. He doesn't care about his parents because they abandoned him and his stepsister. Satoru is surprised that the boy is sharp at his age. He asks the boy if he'll like to join the Zenin clan, but the boy declines if his sister won't be safe there. Satoru pats his head and says everything will be cool, just be strong like him. Fast forward 10 years, and Satoru wakes up to his students making a racket. Guess what? One of them is a grown-up Megumi. Yuji and Nobara are messing around while Satoru grinning and being proud and happy. It's a regular day in the bustling city, and our trio, Yuji, Megumi, and Nobara, are out and about, pondering what adventure to embark on. Now, Megumi, being the serious type, decides to hightail it back to Jujutsu High. But Yuji is all hyped up about this movie, Human Earthworm 4, and he's on a mission to recruit Nobara as his movie buddy. But, alas, Nobara's not taking the bait. She's got her own plans going. As they split up, there's this keen-eyed teenage girl across the street, sizing up the situation. Now, switch gears for a moment. Aoi Tado and Meimei are having a ping-pong showdown. Before the game, they've been busy making recommendations for some Jujutsu High students to level up to grade 1. Tado is all pumped, thinking he's gonna mentor Yuji through this promotion journey. But Mei, ever the bubble burster, reminds him that the recommender can't tag along on those mandatory missions, leaving Tado devastated. Back to our street scene, that curious girl finally gathers the courage to make her move. She saddles up to Nobara and they agree to spill the beans at a nearby restaurant. Yuko Ozawa, she says, introducing herself. It turns out that Yuko and Yuji were middle school buddies back when she was shorter and, well, chubbier. But now, she's undergone a total makeover and she's got a secret crush on our boy, Yuji. Nobara gets the gang back together. She even gets the driver to drop off Megumi at the restaurant. It's a full-blown reunion in the making. Nobara spills the beans to Megumi, and even he can't resist asking, is it like that? Yup, Yuji's single and ready to mingle, especially with tall girls. Nobara decides to summon Yuji, and guess what? He immediately recognizes Yuko without missing a beat. It turns out, Yuji saw right through Yuko's body, realizing she's more than just her looks. Yuko, feeling a bit embarrassed for trying to impress him like other guys, decides to keep her feelings on the down low and slips away without getting Yuji's number. But hold on, Megumi's got some questions about this, right? Well, it turns out that Nobara's got it all under control. She slyly exchanged numbers with Yuko, so everything's alright. Now, the gang's all back together, and Yuji's itching to catch a movie with his pals. But, of course, there's more to the story. The trio links up with the Jujutsu High Kyoto teacher, Urahime, to do some investigating. They're on the hunt for the mole, and their investigation leads them to Kokichi Muta, aka Mekamaru, and the location of his real body. Meanwhile, over at Kyoto Jujutsu High, Mekamaru's got a message for Kasumi Miwa. He tells her he needs a breather and wants to catch a nap. But little does he know, Urahime and the gang are on their way. They stumble upon a decoy hideout, confirming that Muta is the traitor. But wait, there's more. Muta's got a secret meeting with Geto and the supergrade cursed spirit he's been working with, Mahito. They're all bound by some pact for Kokichi to help them in exchange for Mahito to heal his busted up body. Mahito, in his typical I wanna kill everyone mood, sets his sights on Kokichi. But Geto steps in like the wise old man and warns Mahito about the consequences of breaking a pact with others. So, with a sigh and a grumble, Mahito decides to patch up Kokichi's beat-up body. It's obvious this is an alliance of convenience because Kokichi is disgusted that he's working with a cursed spirit and wants to exorcise it so badly. Now that the pact has been settled, these two decide it's time to settle their score. Kokichi, being the crafty one, summons a bunch of Mekamaru puppets. Mahito doesn't waste a second and takes them out, or so he thinks. Kokichi pulls a vanishing act and kaboom. The hideout is history. Now, they're all outside by a big lake and dam. But wait for it. Kokichi's got a trump card up his sleeve. He unleashes Mekamaru mode, Absolute, this colossal Mekamaru that he's been secretly cooking up. He's piloting this beast from the inside, fueled by 17 years of cursed energy. He's basically betting his life on this showdown. He knows he's the underdog here, and his only hope is to somehow get in touch with Satoru Gojo for backup. Armed with recordings of everything that's gone down so far, he thinks he's got the upper hand. And he doesn't mess around, opening the battle with a whole year's worth of cursed energy, firing off an ultra cannon at Mahito. Previously, Mahito and Kokichi were having their showdown just after the cursed spirit healed the Jujutsu sorcerer's banged-up body. Then, Kokichi showed up with a massive mecha puppet and used a buttload of cursed energy to fire off the ultimate cannon at Mahito. Now, with his mad agility, Mahito dodges the puppet's colossal attacks. But our guy, Kokichi, ain't one to back down. He knows his usual tricks won't cut it against this slimy foe, so he's got a plan up his sleeve. Mahito is dancing around, dodging the massive attack left and right when suddenly, Kokichi busts out the big gun with a 2-year energy charge, the Miracle Cannon. He blows up the whole battlefield, water and all. But Mahito is not too fazed, except for his crispy clothes, trying to escape maneuver using the surrounding water. Then, Mahito goes Hulk mode and smacks Kokichi hard, and you can practically hear Mekamaru sweating bullets, thinking about what'll happen if this fight drags on. But wait, Kokichi's got a trick up his robotic sleeve. He charges up some technique and sends a projectile flying at Mahito's shoulder. He kinda brushes it off until he realizes his arm is gone. Mekamaru does not miss this chance. He kicks Mahito into the stratosphere, but Mahito isn't done yet. While wondering how he gets badly wounded, he gets up and flies away, trying to hide that missing arm, but Kokichi knows he scored a hit. Even Geto, the seasoned pro, is raising an eyebrow at Mekamaru's slick moves. Mekamaru's not done, though. He fires off the pigeon Viola, and Mahito is doing his best impression of a zoo, morphing into all kinds of critters as he tries to dodge the laser show. Mahito is in a tight spot, not even sure what's hurting him anymore. He decides to get crafty and cuts the wires on Mekamaru's head. But guess what? He gets smacked and sent flying. Kokichi figured he got this win on lockdown, loaded up another technique charge, and went for the kill. Suddenly, Mahito busts out his own domain, self-embodiment of perfection, a technique that affects anything it touches. This move disabled Kokichi's puppet totally. The Jujutsu sorcerer probably thought Mahito wouldn't use it because of the planned Shibuya attack, but nope, Mahito is like, 10 days is plenty to bounce back. He thought he'd won, turned around, and bam! Mekamaru stabs him from behind. He reveals he used new shadow style, simple domain to protect himself and wreck Mahito's technique. Mahito goes boom, and it seems like Kokichi's finally exorcised him. Geto's impressed by that simple domain action. But Kokichi's not done, he's got his sights set on Geto. Suddenly, out of nowhere, Mahito crashes through Mekamaru's cockpit. Kokichi tries to fend off Mahito with a regular Mekamaru while he preps another tube. It's a standoff, and they both go for their final moves. But guess what? Mahito gets his hands on Kokichi before he can pull off that tube trick. At Kyoto Jujutsu High, we find Miwa cozied up next to the sleeping Mekamaru puppet. She's all smiles, talking about how the students have become one big happy family since that wild baseball game. Miwa's got big plans and she's set on getting even closer to Mekamaru and promises to pay a visit to Kokichi's real body someday. Little does she know, her dear classmates met his end already. For me, this was the saddest part of this episode, to be honest. After the battle, Mahito is having a little chat with Geto. They're discussing the big brawl they just had, and Mahito is acting all nonchalant. He says he blew himself up on purpose just to mess with Kokichi, like it was a walk in the park. But that's not all, because a real bombshell's about to drop. Geto and Mahito spill the beans, all the final preparations for the Shibuya incident are good to go. It's game on. 10 days later, it's Halloween night in Shibuya, and the clocks just ticked past 7. But instead of trick-or-treating, something weird goes down. A massive 40-meter curtain suddenly drops over the city, like a cosmic party banner, but without the fun. People inside are basically stuck, and the message is clear. They can't leave until Satoru Gojo, the big-shot sorcerer, shows up. Now, here's where it gets interesting. They've got backup, a bunch of Jujutsu sorcerers ready to throw down if things go south. We're talking Megumi Fushiguro, Takuma, Kento Nanami, and a whole squad of other sorcerers. The higher-ups give them the lowdown, telling them to hang tight until Satoru sorts things out. Oh, and did I mention the curtain's like a giant dead zone for cell phones? No calls and no texts. But at least the folks trapped inside aren't in immediate danger. Fast forward to 7:31 p.m., and guess who shows up fashionably late to the curtain party? You got it, Satoru Gojo himself. Time to see what kind of trouble's brewing in there. There's a barrier trapping hundreds of regular folks stuck inside. He casually strolls over people like it's a sidewalk until he finds an opening to the next floor. He's got this hunch about what the enemy's up to, and he's all like, bring it on. So, Gojo glides down to BF5 of the Hikari building, and bam, he's greeted by Jogo, Hanami, and Choso on the train tracks of Fukudashin line. Gojo's like, "Jogo, no excuses this time when I win." And Jogo fires back with some snark about Gojo having his first ever excuse ready. Meanwhile, Yuji's teaming up with Meimei and her little bro Yui. Yuji wants to back up Gojo, but Meimei's dealing with Yui' crush on her. Then, they get a call that there's another cursed curtain at Meiji Jingimi Station. So, they haul over there and meet this assistant manager who spills the beans. There are transfigured humans running wild below, and Yuji knew that Patch Face, that is, Mahito, is around somewhere. Meimei's got this cool trick with her crows, and she sends them out to scout the place. She asks Yuji if he's up for a showdown with one big baddie or a bunch of weaklings. Yuji, of course, goes for the big challenge. Meimei fills him in on the situation, saying the target's somewhere between BF1 and BF2. While Yuji's doing his thing, Mei's on a mission to rescue civilians and smack down those transfigured humans. So, there's Yuji, wandering off on his own, all determined not to lose anymore. Then, bam, he stumbles upon a grasshopper curse chomping down on some poor soul. This curse, thinking it's pretty clever, spots Yuji as a jujutsu sorcerer. Yuji, curious about this weird-looking curse, asks, and the grasshopper accidentally spills the beans, revealing that Mahito is hanging around down below. But wait, Yuji's no dummy. He knows a simple curse can't throw up a barrier, and he spots a talisman the grasshopper's guarding. Then, this grasshopper goes on and on about the difference between eating transfigured humans and regular ones. Yuji's patience runs thin, and he smacks the grasshopper through a wall. It bounces back up, thinking of Yuji's cluelessness. Well, surprise, Yuji ain't, and he lets the grasshopper in on the secret. Turns out, this grasshopper curse was born from folks hating on locust plagues. It's got the strength and speed of a human-sized grasshopper, but Yuji is no slouch. He dodges its powerful bites and kicks like a pro. The grasshopper keeps boasting about being smart until Yuji points out that smart folks don't need to brag. The curse's jaw drops, and Yuji steps up, looking seriously ticked off. They go at it, trading rapid blows. The grasshopper's got 4 arms, but Yuji's 2 are all he needs. Despite being a curse that should outclass any human, it's no match for Yuji's strength and speed. Bottom line, this grasshopper curse talked a big game but couldn't back it up when Yuji came swinging. So, Yuji's in a bit of a face-off with this grasshopper curse, right? He's thinking this bug won't pull any tricks, but surprise, surprise. It spits at him, and he's got to duck like he's playing some weird dodgeball. Then it goes all out and tries to stab Yuji's face, but our hero's like, nope, and deflects that attack like a boss. Trick or not, Yuji's skill level is leagues ahead. He exorcises the curse, breaks the mystical talisman thing, and the curtain closes on this little drama. Mei, killing off all the transfigured humans, joins up with Yuji. They head down to B5F, but Mahito is no dummy. He sniffs out the fact that a decently strong sorcerer just did some serious house cleaning. Meanwhile, Hanami, being a real party pooper, barricades folks in underground train station. Gojo's like,
Nah, I ain't running.
but these curses have no chill. They force innocent people onto the tracks, and it's chaos central. Geto and his gang have this evil plan to mess up Gojo's day, using regular folks like pawns. Jogo and Hanami tag team Gojo, but he's got this neat trick called Infinity. Yet, they've got an even niftier trick, activating domain amplification, that's supposed to nullify any cursed technique. Gojo's like, hold my beer, and retreats, not because he's scared, but because he's amazed these curses think they can win with such tricks. Geto's brewing some plot twist, and these baddies have to hold their ground for 20 minutes. When asked what they know about Satoru Gojo, his students and associates give widely different answers, including that he's a kind person, as well as an idiot, but everyone agrees he's undoubtedly the strongest. Now, our fearless hero is facing off against Jogo and Hanami on the Fukuda Line platform in Shibuya. And guess what? He's taken his blindfold off, which means he's serious and he's not one to back down. He taunts Jogo and Hanami like it's nobody's business, saying,
You told me not to run, right? Well, here I am, right between you two.
That's a bold move, I must say. So, punches are thrown left and right, but Satoru, being the crafty guy he is and turning off his limitless technique, grabs Jogo's arm and dodges Hanami's attack like it's a piece of cake. And then, oh boy, he rips Jogo's arm off and uses it to block Hanami. But the real kicker here is when Jogo realizes Hanami messed up by deactivating domain amplification while using their innate curse technique. He screams at them, don't do that. But it's too late. Satoru spots an opening, goes for it, and rips those roots right out of Hanami's face. Jogo realizes the Jujutsu sorcerer is not even using his limitless, but he's still a powerhouse. Choso tries to get in on the action with piercing blood, but Satoru's like, nah, not today, and deflects it with limitless. Then, the cursed spirits try to amp things up with domain amplification, but Satoru warns them it's a bad idea. He's got some tricks up his sleeve as he ramps up his technique, turns and faces Hanami, pinning the cursed spirit against the wall with the potency of limitless. and before you know it, Hanami is toast. Satoru doesn't waste a second and just says, "Next." But hold on, there's more. Gedo's got a plan, and it involves keeping, for a whole minute, Gojo in range of the seal they're preparing for him called Prison Realm. Jogo's not too thrilled about it, but he goes for hit and run tactics, throwing humans at Gojo. At this point, Gojo knows he can't save everyone, but he's determined to avenge them. He's got his eyes on those curses, and he's not backing down. Meanwhile, Yuji's dealing with transfigured humans thanks to Mahito. It's a real mess at Meiji Jinkimi Station because the train filled with transfigured humans just pulled up, unleashing waves of monsters on the unsuspecting humans. Mahito tries to take on Gojo, but Gojo's infinity is no joke. And then, surprise surprise, more humans fall through the atrium. But here's the kicker, Gojo decides to go all out and opens his unlimited void domain. It paralyzes everyone on the platform, even the special grade curses. And then our boy, Gojo, did the most insane ever. In 0.2 seconds, moving like a speed of light, he takes out 1,000 transfigured humans like it's a walk in the park. The guy's a beast. But just when you thought things couldn't get crazier, Geto makes his move. Prison Realm opens, and Gojo's trapped. The minute required for the seal feels like an eternity for Gojo's hyper-accelerated brain. He knows it's checkmate. And then, the bombshell. Geto reveals he's not even Geto anymore. He has been replaced by a cursed spirit who took over Geto's dead body with some brain-swapping curse technique, even gaining Geto's curse manipulation technique. Gojo's heart sinks because he knows his best friend is gone, but he's sure Yudo Katsu will stop him. But Geto deases the boy, refusing to acknowledge him as the next big thing. Meanwhile, Yuji's got a mysterious message from a voice in the intercom saying that Satoru Gojo has been sealed. Kokichi Muta left a little surprise for everyone before meeting his end in the Shibuya incident. This surprise? A tiny communication gadget shaped like Ultimate Mekamaru's face. Now, this little device latches onto Yuji's ear while in the tunnel, but he freaks out Yuji and nearly smashes the thing to bits until Mekamaru reveals they're on the same team. It goes on further to tell Yuji that Gojo has been sealed. Meanwhile, Satoru Gojo finds himself in a tight spot over on the Fukutashin Line platform. Pseudo Geto is throwing him a farewell party by trapping him in the prison realm. Gojo speaks to his friend, the real Geto, to get his act together and stop being a puppet. This sparks some life in Geto's possessed body, and a rebel hand grabs Pseudo Geto's neck, strangling it. Pseudo Geto is marveled at this strange event and tells Mahito about it. They talk philosophically about cursed techniques, but all this gets Gojo bored and tells them to hurry up. Pseudo Geto agrees with Gojo this time and commands the seal to close, finally trapping Gojo in the Prism Realm Cube. Back in the Hajiraku Tunnel, Meme wants some proof that Gojo's been sealed. Mekamaru explains the situation and how he left only 3 of these Mekamaru-faced gizmos around. Meme's team gets 1, probably because they have the least chance of being spies. But oh, there are some nasty curse users headed their way. Mekamaru pleads for a bit of trust, Yuji adds his 2 cents, and Meme eventually agrees to follow their lead. Now, back at Prison Realm, things are getting heavy. Literally. It's gained a lot of weight, dropping out of the imposter's hands, making it immobile for a while until it processes its prisoner. Gojo's inside, chilling in a timeless dimension, thinking he'll be just fine. He's got faith in the gang to handle things on the outside. Speaking of the outside, 3 teams of Jujutsu sorcerers are finally going into action. They've got their hands full with transfigured humans causing chaos and cursed curtains popping up like mushrooms after rain. But wait, there's more. Ijichi at Shibuya Station is trying to coordinate stuff with the other assistants when bam, he's ambushed by a curse user named Haruta Shigemo. He was instructed by some white-haired dude called Yuri-Umi to break their communication lines. And guess what? Mekamaru's eavesdropping devices are doing their thing, overhearing Pseudo Geto's dilemma with the prison realm. Mahito catches onto something spying on them and smashes it, but the secret's out. Sorcerers are coming to crash their evil party. So, Mekamaru feeds this info to Yuji just before he dives into a curtain trapping civilians. Our hero, Yuji, fights off some transfigured nasties and then screams his lungs out to alert everyone. Satoru Gojo is sealed. Nanami heard Yuji scream and changed plans, knowing that things are about to get batshit crazy if Gojo has actually been sealed. Now, with the cavalry on the way, Pseudo Geto asks his cursed buddies what they want to do. Revenge? Turn Yuji into Sukuna? It's like a twisted game show as they all split up and race to find Yuji, leaving only the imposter to watch over the prison realm. But wait, there's a twist. Pseudo Geto spots some familiar faces in the crowd, Mimiko and Nanako. They want Geto's body back, but he's not in the sharing mood. He tells them he's not giving up Geto's body and they should buzz off. Finally, Team Nanami links up with Yuji and they get the lowdown from Mekamaru. Nanami heads off to coordinate with Ijichi. The boys are left with a crucial task: take down that curtain-blocking sorcerers from getting into Shibuya Station. The stakes are high. If they don't free Gojo, it's game over for Japan. As the attack on Shibuya continues, Yuji encounters a barrier that blocks out sorcerers. He gives it a powerful punch. But oh boy, those curtains were tough as nails. Ino was pretty impressed by Yuji's strength, even comparing him to Nanami. Megumi suggests they find a weak spot in those pesky barriers. Yuji, while kicking some transfigured humans, asks why. Ino explains that barriers are all about protecting yourself, and the user must be hiding inside one of those curtains. But Yuji drops a bombshell about the barrier he broke in Meiji Jingumi Station, and Ino understands the logic. Basically, if there is a higher chance of the barrier user being caught, the stronger the barrier. Guess what? They all realize that the curse user must be somewhere very visible in the city. And where do their eyes wander? Yep, Shibuya Central Tower. Now, on top of the tower, 3 curse users are having a little chat. They wonder if the Jujutsu sorcerers are onto them. Yep, the top of the tower was like the most obvious place in the city. But Yuji and Ino decide to scale the tower with the help of Nu, a neat little trick from Megumi. Yuji's wire snags all 3 curse users like a pro. Ino quickly deals with the talisman thingies that power the curtains, but there are 2 missing. Awasaka has them, and that's when the wire sends him flying straight to the ground. While Yuji and Megumi went after Awasaka, Ino stayed back to face the old lady sorcerer and her grandson. He pulled down his mask ready to fight the curse users. Meanwhile, Yuji and Megumi are shocked that Awasaka seemed uninjured after falling from the tall building. The 2 sorcerers decide not to waste any time on him and fight Awasaka together. They are giving Awasaka a run for his money, but Awasaka seems indestructible, and the boys are stumped. Ino, on the other hand, is all about looking up to Nanami and doing things right. He summons his cool beast, Kaichi, and starts drilling into the enemy. And then there's Raiki, this black liquid thing that he uses to zip around and give the grandson a hard time. But Ogami, the elder curse user, has a trick up her sleeve. She's about to perform some freaky ritual, and Ino tries to stop her. However, the grandson protects her, and Ino realizes something's off. Then, there's this crazy twist. The grandson gobbles up Toji Zenin's DNA, and now he's got Toji's physical powers. But let's take a little detour to the past. On December 7th, 1989, Satoru Gojo was born. At that time, Jujutsu sorcerers were busy with cursed spirits, so the likes of Ogami and Awasaka were free to do their thing as hitmen. But Satoru Gojo changed everything, and now, Awasaka's fighting today to get his freedom back to trample over the weak. Back to the present, Megumi's still wondering why Awasaka isn't getting hurt. He's got a sneaky theory about the curse user's power, and he's ready to test it out. They manage to retreat, and it's all part of Megumi's plan. Meanwhile, Ino's got his hands full, too. He's up against the grandson, who's been juiced up by Toji's soul. It's a tough fight for Ino, no doubt. He tried to summon his 4th beast, but too late, as the Toji-like grandson quickly stopped and pummeled him. As for Yuji and Megumi, they figured out what his technique might be. It's something called inverse. Attacks get weaker the stronger they are. But guess what? Yuji and Megumi outsmart him by using a mix of strong and weak blows. They knock Awasaka out cold with his own technique. Megumi gives Yuji a pat on the back for his refined attacks, and Yuji's pretty surprised that Megumi's impressed.
Nanami stands in shock as he gazes upon the lifeless body of Kiyotaka, his frustration with his own helplessness consuming him. The realization of his limitations as a sorcerer weighs heavy on his heart, fueling his determination to grow stronger and protect those he cares about. In the depths of the sewers, Mei Mei, a fierce and skilled sorcerer, unleashes her deadly skills upon a group of criminals. With each precise strike, she eradicates the cursed presence that plagues the city. Mei Mei's monologue reflects her unwavering dedication to her duty as a sorcerer, while receiving praise from her companion, Ui Yui. Yuji and Megumi discover that the curtain, which forbids sorcerers from entering a certain domain, has mysteriously disappeared. Their attention is drawn to the remaining curtains that entrap Satoru and innocent citizens. The disappearance of the curtain raises questions and adds a new layer of danger to their mission. Megumi's keen eyes spot Ino falling from a building, and without hesitation, he and Yuji rush to rescue him. Their urgency stems from the knowledge that danger lurks around every corner, and time is of the essence. Little do they know that their act of heroism will set in motion a chain of events that will test their strength and resolve. Toji, a formidable and enigmatic figure, defies death as his soul takes control of his grandson's body. With a newfound lease on life, Toji seizes the opportunity to exact revenge on Ogami, the one responsible for his demise. In a shocking turn of events, Toji's ruthless actions leave a trail of destruction in his wake. Maki and Nobara find themselves engaged in a fierce battle against cursed spirits, all while discussing the potential demise of Kiyotaka. Amidst the chaos, Maki reveals her determination to find their fallen comrade, urging Nobara and Akari to aid in the search. The bond between the three grows stronger, fueled by their shared purpose. As Yuji explores the station in search of Ogami and her grandson, he finds himself facing a labyrinth of uncertainty. The weight of responsibility rests upon his shoulders as he navigates through the darkness, driven by a desire to protect those he holds dear. Nobara and Akari encounter the man responsible for Kiyotaka's suffering, igniting a deep-seated rage within Nobara. Determined to analyze the situation before taking action, she instructs Akari to hide while she confronts their tormentor head-on. As the confrontation escalates, the man reveals his sadistic nature, taking pleasure in inflicting pain on others. Nobara's resolve is tested as she witnesses the man's cruel actions, pushing her to the brink of her own limits. But little does she know that help is on the way, arriving in the form of a powerful ally. Nanami arrives just in time to divert the man's attention from Akari, shifting the focus onto himself. With a calm yet lethal demeanor, Nanami demands information from the man, determined to uncover the truth about his allies and their whereabouts. However, the man's defiance only serves to ignite Nanami's fury, leading to a relentless display of devastating blows. Nobara watches in awe as Nanami's strength and skill are unleashed, leaving her both inspired and humbled. Together, they set their sights on finding Nita, another key figure in their quest for justice and protection. The bond between the three grows stronger as they face the challenges ahead. Meanwhile, Mei Mei and Ui Uir find themselves facing an imposter named Suguru, who presents them with a formidable challenge, an encounter with the special-grade disease-cursed spirit known as the smallpox deity. Mei Mei accepts the challenge, determined to prove her prowess as a sorcerer and protect those around her. With the immediate danger seemingly subdued, Nanami takes a moment to reassure Akari, known as Nita, that he did everything in his power to keep Kiyotaka alive. Their conversation is filled with a mix of sorrow, determination, and a shared understanding of the sacrifices they must make in their fight against the forces of darkness. As the episode draws to a close, Yuji finds himself face to face with Choso, a mysterious and powerful individual seeking revenge for the fallen comrades he holds dear. Their meeting sets the stage for an epic clash of wills and a pivotal moment in the ongoing battle between sorcerers and cursed spirits. The clash between Yuji and Choso reaches its peak as their fists collide with incredible force. Choso, fueled by anger and grief, demands to know the final words of his fallen brothers, Eso and Kachizu. Yuji, caught off guard by the question, confesses that he doesn't remember the exact words spoken. However, he reveals that he saw one of them shed tears in their final moments, unintentionally provoking Choso's wrath. Their battle intensifies as they continue to exchange blows, each one testing the limits of their strength and resolve. Yuji, ever the analytical fighter, studies Choso's movements, searching for any weaknesses he can exploit. In the midst of the chaos, a call from Mechamaru interrupts the fight, urging Yuji to visit the bathroom for a crucial revelation. Curiosity piqued, Yuji follows Mechamaru's instructions and heads towards the bathroom. Little does he know that Mechamaru has devised a plan to help him overcome Choso's technique. With a taunting invitation, Mechamaru lures Choso into the bathroom, setting the stage for a pivotal moment in their battle. As the two adversaries face off within the confined space, Yuji launches a fierce attack, determined to turn the tide in his favor. To his surprise, Choso realizes that his convergence technique has been lifted, leaving him vulnerable. The narrative voice interjects, explaining the scientific intricacies behind Mechamaru's plan and how it disrupted Choso's technique. The battle rages on, both combatants unleashing their full power and skill. However, Choso's strength proves overwhelming as he delivers a devastating blow that sends Yuji crashing into a nearby wall, rendering him unconscious. In this moment of defeat, Sukuna, the ancient curse residing within Yuji, berates him for losing to someone he deems insignificant. But just as the episode seems to reach its conclusion, a strange sensation washes over Choso's body. The narrator reveals that he is experiencing fabricated memories. Memories of Yuji sitting down to dinner with him, Iso, and Kachizu. Confused and intrigued, Choso questions why Yuji appeared in these non-existent recollections and what purpose they serve. As the episode draws to a close, two mysterious females stumble upon Yuji's unconscious form. Their intentions remain shrouded in mystery, leaving readers eager to uncover their plans and the role they will play in the unfolding events. The 14th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2 thrusts us into a high-stakes battle as Mei Mei takes center stage, facing off against the formidable smallpox deity. With Ui Ui by her side, Mei Mei analyzes the situation, prioritizing their safety and preventing the spread of the deity's infectious disease. Mei Mei, recognizing Ui Ui's significance in the battle, utilizes her cursed technique to ward off the smallpox deity's attacks and ultimately triumph over its menacing presence. With the immediate threat neutralized, Mei Mei and Ui Ui devise a plan to confront Suguru's doppelganger, a task that promises to be equally challenging. Meanwhile, Nanami, Maki, and Nyobito navigate their way through the treacherous Inokashira Line Avenue exit, only to find themselves face-to-face with the fearsome Dagon. The trio engages in a fierce struggle, but it is Nyobito who takes charge, demonstrating his prowess and determination. Although Nyobito manages to gain the upper hand with his powerful cursed technique, Dagon retaliates by utilizing his domain expansion capabilities, banishing Nyobito, Maki, and Nanami to an exotic tropical location. Unfazed, Nyobito employs an anti-domain expansion technique, safeguarding himself from Dagon's Shikigami. Just as it seems that Maki may fall victim to Dagon's onslaught, a timely arrival interrupts the chaos. Megumi steps onto the battlefield, diverting Dagon's attention by unleashing his own domain. Seizing the opportunity, Maki skillfully employs her tools, launching a counterattack against the distracted Dagon. Nanami and Nyobito join the fray, providing much-needed support to their allies. Megumi, sharing his plan with Nanami, reveals his intention to create a breach within Dagon's domain, allowing them to escape its confines. Understanding the urgency of the situation, Nanami orders the others to gather around him, while Dagon begins to catch on to their scheme. As the episode draws to a close, a new player enters the battlefield. Toji, a formidable force in his own right, makes his presence known, further complicating the already tumultuous situation. The stage is set for a clash of epic proportions as the battle for survival and the fate of humanity intensifies. In episode 14 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the line between life and death blurs as Mei confronts the smallpox deity, while Nanami, Maki, and Nyobito find themselves locked in an intense struggle against Dagon. With each passing moment, the stakes grow higher, and the alliances forged in the heat of battle become instrumental in the fight against the forces of darkness. Join us as we delve deeper into the intricate world of Jujutsu Kaisen, where courage, strategy, and unwavering determination are put to the ultimate test. In the 15th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story unfolds with Toji emerging from Megumi's domain, seizing Maki's nunchucks, and striding towards Dagon with an air of confidence. The narrator sheds light on Toji's unique circumstances, revealing that he now serves as Ogami's grandson's vessel following her untimely demise. Toji engages in a fierce battle with Dagon, leaving Maki and the others awestruck by his immense skills and abilities. Toji's overwhelming power allows him to exorcise Dagon and liberate everyone from his oppressive domain. With the immediate threat neutralized, Toji seizes the opportunity to confront Megumi, forcing him to a secluded location where they can engage in a private conversation. Meanwhile, Jogo, a powerful curse, makes his grand entrance, bidding farewell to Dagon and setting Nanami, Naobito, and Maki ablaze with his fiery abilities. Amidst the chaos, Jogo senses the presence of one of Sukuna's fingers elsewhere, setting the stage for a pivotal moment yet to come. The narrative shifts to a scene where two enigmatic girls stand beside Yuji's unconscious body. These mysterious individuals proceed to feed Yuji one of Sukuna's fingers, unknowingly increasing his already substantial count to over 15 fingers consumed. Jogo arrives on the scene and attempts to attack the girls, but to his surprise, they survive his onslaught. Just as Jogo prepares to inflict further harm upon the girls, Sukuna, the ancient curse residing within Yuji, awakens from his slumber. Jogo instinctively kneels before Sukuna, acknowledging his dominance and power. Sukuna approaches the trio, inquiring about the girls' intentions. The girls implore Sukuna to free Suguru Geta from the clutches of his doppelganger's control. In exchange, they offer to guide Sukuna to another one of his scattered fingers. Sukuna, displeased by their attempts to order him around, causes one of the girls named Mimiko's head to explode, displaying his ruthless nature. He proceeds to murder the other girl, leaving only Jogo and himself. Jogo, undeterred by Sukuna's violent display, expresses his desire to fully revive Sukuna and suggests making a binding vow with Yuji before his return, granting him dominance over the curse. However, Sukuna reveals that he has other plans in mind. In a gesture of gratitude for the fingers consumed, Sukuna proposes a challenge to Jogo. If Jogo can land a single hit on him, Sukuna will agree to work alongside Jogo and his companions. Simultaneously, Sukuna declares his intention to focus on eliminating the humans in Shibuya, sparing only one. The episode concludes with Jogo accepting Sukuna's proposition, setting the stage for a thrilling alliance that will undoubtedly have far-reaching consequences. In episode 15 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the awakening of Sukuna brings forth a new dynamic to the unfolding events. With Toji's impressive display of power, the unexpected arrival of Jogo, and the enigmatic actions of the two mysterious girls, the stage is set for a thrilling climax. Join us as we delve deeper into the intricate web of alliances, rivalries, and dark ambitions that shape the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. In the 16th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story unfolds with Megumi engaged in a fierce battle against his own father, Toji. Meanwhile, Panda and Kusakabe discuss their priorities, with Panda suggesting that they focus on finding Satoru rather than aiding the general populace. However, Kusakabe secretly harbors a desire to avoid the dangerous fifth-floor underground area at all costs. Suddenly, a group of enemies appears, challenging Kusakabe and Panda to a fight. As the intense clash between Megumi and Toji continues, Masamichi takes a moment to explain Shoko's role in the unfolding events. Toji, amidst his confrontation with Megumi, begins to recognize his son's face, realizing that he is fighting his own flesh and blood, albeit in a more mature form. Memories of past encounters with Naobito and his wife flood Toji's mind. In the present, Toji asks Megumi for his name, to which he replies. Surprisingly, Toji knocks himself out, leaving Megumi bewildered by this unexpected turn of events. Determined to ensure the safety of his comrades, Megumi resolves to visit Yeri and check on the well-being of the others. However, he is blindsided by a sudden attack from Shigemo, leaving him vulnerable and unconscious on the pavement. Amidst the chaos, a flashback ensues, revealing a heated argument between Nanako and others. Nanako advocates for helping Suguru reclaim his body from his doppelganger, emphasizing the urgency and importance of their assistance. However, her pleas fall on deaf ears as the others refuse to lend their aid. The narrative then transitions to two of Suguru's devoted followers, warning Kusakabe and Panda to step aside. Tensions escalate as a fierce battle erupts between Jogo, a formidable curse, and Sukuna, the ancient curse residing within Yuji. The clash of their powers sends shockwaves throughout the surrounding area, drawing the attention of all present. Before unleashing their devastating fire techniques upon each other, Jogo engages in a conversation with Hanami and Dagon. Jogo shares his aspirations of attaining a status similar to humans and discusses the concept of rebirth, revealing his desire for a new existence. While Sukuna finds Jogo's desires mundane, he acknowledges the curse's formidable strength. In a shocking turn of events, Sukuna mercilessly murders Jogo, reinforcing his dominance and power. As the episode draws to a close, a hulking beast emerges, ominously approaching Shigemo while Megumi lies unconscious on the pavement, unaware of the impending danger that awaits him. In episode 16 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the clash between Megumi and his father Toji serves as a poignant reminder of the complex relationships and personal histories that shape the characters' journeys. With the emergence of powerful enemies, the revelation of Toji's recognition of his son, and the devastating battle between Sukuna and Jogo, the stakes have never been higher. Join us as we delve deeper into the intricate web of curses, alliances, and personal quests that define the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. In the 17th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story continues with Megumi devising a plan to summon a powerful Shikigami. Meanwhile, Satoru engages in a conversation with Megumi, shedding light on the deep-rooted animosity between the Zenin and Gojo families. He reveals that the leaders of both families ultimately met their demise. As Megumi prepares to enact his plan, Sukuna, sensing the young sorcerer's intentions, confides in Uraume, expressing his need to depart. However, Sukuna remains confident that he will regain his freedom in due time. Megumi successfully summons the formidable Shikigami known as Mahoraga, but to his surprise, he becomes the target of its relentless attacks. In the midst of the chaotic battle, Shigemo pleads with Megumi to send Mahoraga away, desperate to avoid further harm. Sensing the imminent danger, Sukuna intervenes, saving Shigemo from certain doom. Sukuna realizes Megumi's intention to sacrifice himself through this ritual, involving Mahoraga, and vows to defeat the powerful Shikigami to spare Megumi's life, as he has undisclosed reasons for needing him. A fierce showdown erupts between Sukuna and Mahoraga within the city, with destruction and chaos unfolding around them. Sukuna taps into his immense power, unleashing his domain expansion technique, Malevolent Shrine, to gain the upper hand. The battle reaches its climax as Sukuna emerges victorious, vanquishing Mahoraga and proving his dominance. With Mahoraga defeated, Sukuna sends Megumi away to a mysterious location, ensuring his safety. Sukuna returns to the site of his intense battle with Mahoraga, only to be met with the horrifying aftermath of the destruction. Yuji, regaining control over his body, is overwhelmed by the gruesome scene before him. Filled with guilt and remorse, Yuji yearns for his life to come to an end, as he fears the consequences of his existence and the innocent lives that have been lost because of him. As the episode draws to a close, Nanami, a seasoned sorcerer, walks down the dimly lit subway hall appearing disheveled and burdened by his own personal struggles. The narrative leaves us with a sense of foreboding, hinting at the challenges and revelations that lie ahead for Nanami and the other characters in this complex and ever-unfolding world of curses and sorcery. In episode 17 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the battle between Megumi, Sukuna, and the powerful Shikigami Mahoraga takes center stage, showcasing the immense power, sacrifice, and intricate dynamics at play within the world of Jujutsu sorcery. As the story delves deeper into the struggles of its characters, the consequences of their actions, and the weight of their choices, we are left eagerly anticipating the next chapter in this enthralling and unpredictable tale. In the 18th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story unfolds with Yuji traversing through an unknown location, his mind consumed by thoughts and uncertainty. Meanwhile, Nanami finds himself surrounded by hordes of cursed spirits, prompting him to reflect on his dreams and current goals. As he fights off the relentless spirits, Yuji hears Nanami's voice in the distance, growing increasingly concerned for his comrade's safety. To their surprise, Mahito, a formidable curse, arrives at the battlefield, revealing that he has been observing Nanami all along. Nanami, aware that his time is limited, acknowledges Yuji's presence and urges him to take on Mahito in his stead. With a heavy heart, Nanami sacrifices himself, leaving Yuji to face the malicious curse alone. Engaging in a fierce battle with Mahito, Yuji struggles to gain the upper hand. Amidst their clash, Yuji questions Mahito's sadistic enjoyment of manipulating and toying with people's lives. Mahito, reveling in his own twisted nature, reveals that he and Yuji are essentially the same being. He taunts Yuji, emphasizing that unless he accepts this truth, he will never be able to defeat him. The battle intensifies as Yuji continues to face off against Mahito, determined to prove him wrong. However, Mahito unveils a backup plan, splitting into two separate entities. One engages in a relentless battle with Yuji, while the other confronts Nobara, another skilled Jujutsu sorcerer. Nobara, aware of the dangerous situation, musters her strength and confronts Mahito's clone head-on, devising a plan to defeat him and protect herself. As the episode draws to a close, Mahito plots a sinister scheme, vowing to murder Nobara and present her lifeless body to Yuji, intending to crush his spirit and break his resolve. In episode 18 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the battle between Yuji and Mahito takes a dark turn, with the curse's sadistic nature and manipulative tactics pushing our protagonist to his limits. As Nanami sacrifices himself, leaving a void in the hearts of his comrades, Yuji must find the strength to overcome Mahito's twisted ideology and protect those he cares about. The impending clash between Nobara and Mahito's clone hints at the intense battles and emotional stakes that lie ahead. Join us as we delve deeper into the intricacies of curses, sacrifices, and the resilience of the human spirit in the world of Jujutsu Kaisen. In the 19th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story takes a poignant turn as it delves into Nobara's past and the deep connections that have shaped her into the person she is today. The episode begins with a heartbreaking flashback of Nobara entering a cursed curtain to save innocent people, only to discover that they have all perished. This tragic incident serves as a catalyst for Nobara's unwavering determination to protect others. Meanwhile, Yuji and Nobara continue their battles with their respective Mahito clones in the present. With Nobara's exceptional abilities, Yuji gains the upper hand in his fight, unleashing his full potential against the curse. However, the Mahito clone, fighting Nobara, manages to escape to the underground, leading Nobara to give chase, determined to rid the world of this malicious being once and for all. As the two clones cross paths, the clone fighting Yuji manages to touch Nobara before being attacked by Yuji himself. This unexpected encounter sets in motion a series of events that will unveil a significant part of Nobara's past. The narrative transports us to the year 2009, where we witness Nobara's life in a rural village and her friendship with a girl named Fumi. Fumi reflects on how Nobara, despite being a newcomer to the village, welcomed her with open arms and even played video games with her father. The two friends would often visit a secret base, where they would encounter another newcomer named Saori. Fumi reveals how Saori's presence in Nobara's life brought about significant changes, shaping her in profound ways. However, Saori eventually moved away, leaving a deep impact on Nobara's life. Fumi recalls how the subject of Saori became a sensitive and unspoken matter between them. The episode delves into the emotional farewell between Fumi and Nobara before Nobara left for Tokyo, setting the stage for the present-day events. In the present, Saori discusses her reasons for living in the rural village and her enduring attachment to Nobara with a co-worker. The narrative highlights the lasting impact of their friendship, despite the physical distance and the passage of time. As the episode reaches its climax, Nobara, reflecting on her life and the bonds she has formed, shares a poignant moment with Yuji. She implores him to tell everyone that she has lived a good life, hinting at the possibility of her impending demise. In episode 19 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the focus shifts to Nobara's past, unveiling the depth of her character and the profound influence of her relationships. As the battles against the Mahito clones intensify, the emotional stakes rise, leaving us on the edge of our seats, wondering about the fate of Nobara and the impact her loss would have on her friends and comrades. Join us as we witness the power of friendship, sacrifice, and the indomitable spirit of the Jujutsu sorcerers in this gripping tale of curses and humanity. In the 20th episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the story continues with Yuji grappling with the grief of Nobara's demise. As he mourns her loss, Mahito, the sadistic curse, launches an attack on Yuji, reveling in his pain and taunting him mercilessly. Just as Mahito is about to deliver the final blow, Todo arrives and swiftly intervenes, using his cursed technique to save Yuji from certain death. In a poignant flashback, Todo and Nita examine the area where Satoru was imprisoned in the prison realm. Todo suggests a change of plans, emphasizing the importance of focusing on saving their allies from the enemy's clutches. Todo, recognizing Yuji's despair, reminds him that as Jujutsu sorcerers, they are bound by duty and should continue fighting, carrying the spirits of their fallen comrades within them. He encourages Yuji to reflect on what his fallen allies entrusted him with, and to find his own path and answers amidst the chaos. Todo confronts Mahito head-on, engaging in a fierce battle while Nita tends to Yuji's injuries, using his technique to stop the bleeding and alleviate his pain. Providing a glimmer of hope, Nita informs Yuji that he has worked on Nobara's injuries, and that there is a chance she can be saved. Meanwhile, Mechamaru and Miwa share a conversation about Todo and Nita. Mechamaru reveals his desire to protect someone dear to him, subtly alluding to his feelings for Miwa. As the allies listen, Miwa mourns Mechamaru's loss, realizing the weight of their sacrifice. Returning to the fight, Todo, Yuji, and Mahito clash in a battle of wills. Both sides refuse to back down, pushing themselves to the limit. Sensing the intensity of the situation, Mahito decides to escalate the conflict, raising the stakes and unleashing his true power. The fight takes them out of the subway and back to the surface, where the battle reaches its crescendo. Mahito continues to mock and provoke Yuji, challenging him to try harder if he hopes to stand a chance against him. In episode 20 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the theme of resilience and rising from the ashes takes center stage. Yuji, devastated by Nobara's loss, finds solace and renewed determination through the support and encouragement of his comrades. Todo's unwavering belief in their duty as Jujutsu sorcerers inspires Yuji to confront his grief, and find the strength to continue the fight. As the battle against Mahito escalates, the episode ends on a cliffhanger, leaving us on the edge of our seats, eager to see how Yuji, Todo, and their allies will overcome this seemingly insurmountable challenge. Join us in the next chapter as we witness the indomitable spirit of the Jujutsu sorcerers and the power of their bonds as they strive to protect the world from the encroaching darkness of curses. In the 21st episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the intense fight between Mahito, Todo, and Yuji rages on in the heart of Shibuya. Determined to face Yuji alone, Mahito summons several polymorphic soul isomers to keep Todo occupied. However, Todo proves his strength and skill by swiftly defeating the isomers and returning to Yuji's side, much to Mahito's dismay. Realizing that he needs to lure Yuji closer, Mahito unleashes his domain expansion, creating a twisted and treacherous environment. Todo, sensing something amiss with his arm, takes decisive action and severs it, sacrificing a part of himself to protect Yuji. Mahito, undeterred by the setback, launches a powerful attack with Black Flash, aiming to eliminate Todo. However, Todo manages to create a cursed energy barrier on his abdomen, narrowly escaping serious harm. With their combined efforts, Todo and Yuji counter Mahito's assault, opening an opportunity for Yuji to deliver a devastating blow with his own Black Flash. As the battle intensifies, Todo lies on the ground, exhausted and injured, but entrusts Yuji with the responsibility of finishing off Mahito. Fueled by determination, Yuji refuses to back down, confronting Mahito head-on. With Todo's guidance and support, Yuji unleashes a more formidable Black Flash attack, overwhelming Mahito and shattering his transformation. The impact of the attack causes Mahito to cough up some of his transfigured human stock, a clear indication of his vulnerability. As Yuji approaches the weakened curse, he acknowledges the twisted sentiment they share. He agrees with Mahito's belief that they are alike in many ways. However, instead of succumbing to darkness, Yuji resolves to dedicate his life to eradicating curses like Mahito. These words strike fear into Mahito's eyes, and in a desperate attempt to escape his impending doom, he begs for help from none other than Getu's doppelganger. The episode concludes with Mahito's plea, leaving us on a suspenseful note, wondering what role Getu's doppelganger will play in this epic battle. In episode 21 of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 2, the theme of unwavering resolve takes center stage as Yuji and Todo push themselves to their limits to overcome the formidable Mahito. Their determination and teamwork prove to be crucial in turning the tide of the battle. As Yuji embraces his role as a Jujutsu sorcerer, he confronts Mahito with a newfound conviction, vowing to protect humanity from the curse's malevolence. Panda, the lovable and resilient Jujutsu sorcerer, sets out on a mission to find Kusakabe. With determination in his eyes, Panda navigates the treacherous terrain, determined to uncover the truth behind Yuji's predicament. As he searches, his mind races with thoughts of justice and the consequences that await them all. Kusakabe's stance on Yuji's fate becomes apparent as he and Panda engage in a tense conversation. The weight of the decision to execute Yuji hangs heavy in the air, testing their beliefs and challenging their loyalties. As the discussion unfolds, Panda grapples with his own perspective, torn between duty and compassion. Mei, the enigmatic Jujutsu sorcerer, engages in a mysterious conversation over the phone. Business matters intertwine with personal interests, hinting at a deeper involvement in the unfolding events. Her words hold hidden meanings, leaving readers intrigued and eager to uncover the secrets she guards. Choso, a conflicted and complex character, embarks on a personal journey to uncover the truth behind his connection with Yuji. Driven by a desire to understand his own existence, he delves into the depths of his memories, searching for answers that may change the course of their intertwined destinies. Amidst the chaos, Suguru's doppelganger emerges, offering Mahito a chance at salvation. The unexpected alliance sparks curiosity and raises questions about the true nature of their relationship. As Mahito contemplates the proposition, the consequences of his decision loom ominously. Yuji's pent-up emotions explode as he charges towards Suguru, demanding Satoru's release. The clash of wills and the resolve to protect their loved ones fuels their intense confrontation. Suguru, ever the manipulator, reveals the concept behind Uzumaki, a formidable technique that could tip the scales of power. Suguru delves deeper into the concept behind Uzumaki, the supreme art of cursed spirit manipulation. He explains how this technique combines absorbed cursed spirits into a single entity, harnessing their immense power. With the super high-density cursed energy it generates, one can effectively combat their adversaries. The significance of Uzumaki's potential implications reverberates through the minds of our protagonists, raising both hope and concern. Amidst the escalating battle, Momo, Miwa, and other allies arrive on the scene. Their presence injects a renewed sense of determination into the fray. As they join the fight, their unique abilities and unwavering resolve become crucial elements in the struggle against Suguru's doppelganger. United, they stand stronger against the looming threat. The doppelganger, fueled by the power of Uzumaki, launches a relentless assault on Miwa. The devastating force of the technique tests her limits and pushes her to the edge. Just as all seems lost, Kusakabe and Yutahime arrive, shielding her from harm and embodying the true spirit of camaraderie. Panda, having gathered crucial information, approaches Kamo. He reveals that the Suguru standing before them is not the real Suguru. Shock waves ripple through their group as the truth begins to unravel. Choso, driven by his deep connection to Yuji, confirms the doppelganger's true identity as Kamo Noritoshi, igniting a fire within him. Utahime shares her insights into Noritoshi's past, shedding light on his true nature and revealing the complexity of his aliases. The depth of his deception becomes apparent, leaving our heroes questioning their trust and understanding of the world they inhabit. Utahime's revelations serve as a turning point, altering the course of their battle and their perceptions. Choso's unique ability to sense changes in his blood-related siblings becomes a focal point. With his heightened senses, he had foreseen Yuji's demise and believed him to be one of his blood-related younger brothers. The revelation of this connection sets the stage for an emotional confrontation between Choso and Noritoshi, fueled by a mix of anger, betrayal, and a desire for justice. Choso, consumed by his fury, confronts Noritoshi head-on. The clash between their conflicting emotions and intertwined destinies intensifies. Their battle becomes a reflection of the complex dynamics that exist within the world of Jujutsu sorcery, where bonds can be forged and shattered, and where the lines between ally and enemy blur. Panda, Yuji, and Kamo forge a plan to aid Choso in his fight against Noritoshi. They strategize, utilizing their unique abilities and knowledge to turn the tide in their favor. The plan takes shape, offering a glimmer of hope amidst the chaos and uncertainty that surrounds them. Before their plan can be enacted, Uraume, a mysterious and formidable presence, intervenes. Using his reversed curse technique, he halts everyone in their tracks, including Choso, preventing them from harming Noritoshi. Uraume's motives remain shrouded in mystery, leaving our heroes grappling with yet another obstacle on their path to unraveling the truth. As the pieces of the puzzle fall into place and the battles rage on, the fate of Yuji and his allies hangs in the balance. In Jujutsu Kaisen, the unraveling ties, the intricate threads of loyalty, betrayal, and the search for truth converge, leading to a climactic showdown that will test the limits of their resolve and reshape the world they thought they knew.
At first we see Yuki and Noritoshi engage in a conversation about methods for murdering cursed spirits and speculate on how humans will progress in advanced stages. Yuki aims to use this discussion with Noritoshi to delay for Larv. She critiques the flaws in Noritoshi's current optimization plan. Noritoshi affirms his desire to create a form of destruction beyond his control and informs Yuki and the other sorcerers that the curse technique has been extracted. This part gave us more insight about Noritoshi's true objective behind doing all these things, but I'm kinda disappointed that Yuki didn't even try to do anything while they were talking. We see Yuki queries Yuji about Mahito, becoming anxious upon learning the details of the encounter between Mahito and Noritoshi. Noritoshi employs idle transfiguration to cover the battlefield, indicating a long-range activation of the technique. Expressing gratitude for Yuji's help, Noritoshi acknowledges Mahito's significant growth since facing Yuji and expresses regret at not capturing Jogo before his demise. So yeah, Mahito is dead, and this is another thing that I'm not very happy about, because Mahito has been built up since season 1 to be a villain that Yuji is supposed to kill, but now that he has been killed by someone else, it left me with a very unfulfilling feeling. Then we see Noritoshi clarify the significance of the idol transfiguration phenomenon he initiated. He discloses that he applied the idol transfiguration technique to 2 pre-marked types of non-sorcerers, Sumiki Fushiguro being one of the types. Noritoshi categorizes sorcerers into different types, citing individuals like Yuji and Junpei. For the marked individuals, he adjusted their brains to those of sorcerers, granting one strength suitable for vesselhood and the other the ability to use techniques. Noritoshi then removed the seals on the cursed objects in them. He anticipates their imminent awakening and intends to compel them into combat to deepen their understanding of cursed energy. After ridiculing Yuki for opposing his plan, Yurong falls victim to Choso's poison. So Megumi's sister Tsumaki is one of the marked people, and I'm curious to see what she will do next and how Megumi will react to all this. Moving on, we see that following a discussion with everyone, Noritoshi elaborates on his plan. He discloses that the marked individuals were given cursed objects, remnants from contracts with sorcerers in the past. However, he mentions making contracts with cursed spirits, some of which expired upon obtaining Geto's body. As he departs with Gojo, Noritoshi bids farewell to Yuji, expressing anticipation for Sukuna's actions and the revival of the Heian period, the golden age of sorcery. So Noritoshi is basically a creep who wants to see chaos for fun. Also, I'm curious to know what grudge Yuki has against Tenjin, because it's very clear that she doesn't like him at all. Next, we see that the government and residents engage in discussions about the Shibuya incident, expressing bewilderment and uncertainty about the events. There is deliberation within the government about the wisdom of revealing the existence of cursed spirits to the public. The scene transitions to various shots of people falling victim to cursed spirits, followed by a lone girl in a shop being enticed by a cursed spirit. I don't think going public about the whole situation was a great idea, because as we know, cursed spirits manifest from negativity and normal people are bound to get negative feelings from a news like this, but I guess the government didn't have much of a choice either. At the end, we see that before the cursed spirit accomplice can consume her, Yuta intervenes and subdues it. Yuta briefly inquires about the girl's mother and faces an attack from the cursed spirit, but Rika shields him. Yuki outlines her next steps to Yuta and asks about his plans. In a flashback, it's revealed that Jujutsu HQ has tasked Yuta with assassinating Yuji. A numbered notice from Jujutsu HQ is then shown. The scene transitions to Yuji on a bridge as 2 large cursed spirits emerge from the ocean.
How was the video? We hope it was good. If so, please check these videos. Also, please comment down your thoughts and your suggestions for future videos. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing now to show the support to our channel. We hope to see you soon with another video right in this channel. Have a nice day.